for the next video, join us as we go into if the future of fighting games is free to play. So I normally don't like to do the influencer thing of begging for likes and subscriptions, but as we've learned about the algorithm, I've had to Thanos snap my channel. So if you do enjoy stuff like this, please do hit the subscribe button, the like button, Twitch, YouTube. On Triple KO, a podcast you should probably watch, they posited that free-to-play should be explored by fighting game devs. Ultimately, I don't think free-to-play is the answer for all fighting games. They do put forth many issues that need to be addressed on the pod. The best way to talk about this would be in 3 parts. Let's see. What free-to-play is capable of is free-to-play the future of fighting games, and the third part will be looking at the thought experiment. So free-to-play. So it may be hard to believe, but some people may still be unacquainted with this concept. Free-to-play, sometimes more accurately titled free-to-start, have no initial cost to start playing. MOBAs like Dota 2, lots of different mobile games like Genshin Impact, or even MMOs like MapleStory and the eponymous Fortnite. It's much more evolved than the sad little browser games that we used to play, and the possibilities are practically endless now. And with no entry fee, the player base can be huge, something that fighting games would really benefit from. But is everyone playing for free? That would not make too much sense as a business. There is a saying in the wider world that if you're not paying, you're the product. The large community becomes an asset and works to keep actual paying individuals engaged. These individuals, nicknamed whales, spend exorbitant amounts not only to pay for free players, but also to make free-to-play and or mobile games one of the most lucrative markets in existence. There have been some changes, and less as we sort of seen monetization models become more accepted. That it isn't necessarily on whales, but the point is still there. At some point, we became okay with $15 a month for an MMO no longer being the first asking price for gaming experiences. The normalization of the increased price and the monetization definitely shows. While there are definitely more insidious free-to-play games such as Diablo Immortal, there are fairer ones. The problem is we don't get to decide which is which. I don't necessarily play free-to-play fighting games, but I've played plenty of free-to-play games, and while I won't say I'm immune to their wiles, I definitely can recognize what they're doing. And as I've already mentioned, there are people who are more inclined to purchase certain personality types or even those with mental illness. That, combined with the fact that game companies now have gambling psychologists on staff in order to make sure people are complacent enough to spend without getting outraged, it's not a pretty path to go down. And I've overheard enough radio hosts talking about their kids or other people's kids fraudulently ordering from apps for this not to be something to be aware of. Also, in mobile games, development goes towards new and shiny characters. So if you're expecting old characters or bug fixes, you might be expecting them for a while. We saw some movement against these games as a whole, in part because of various presidential runs, because they prey on children and people with certain mental illnesses or personalities, but I'm not sure if the momentum has stopped as a whole or just the fight has quieted. While NFTs have reared their ugly heads, in the meantime, the gaming world seemed to have previously worked to come to the happy medium of the battle pass, as loot boxes were too predatory to the point they're banned in some countries. But in a sense, fighting games have always had a clear path to monetization with new characters, costumes, announcer packs, stages. I'm really surprised we've never gotten a bad Street Fighter 2 voice acting mod DLC for Street Fighter. And in this way, fighting games have a very visible and one of the most fair implementations of monetization. You can buy a new character, you can buy a new stage. It's not as if you're rolling a die where you may not get something. There's a clear exchange. While on the podcast, they opted to talk about other fighters, and I know Max says he doesn't do too many free-to-play games, and that's kept in mind here. Fighting games aren't exactly given the biggest budgets, but I think in looking outside the genre, there can be a way forward. For the next video, join us as we go into if free-to-play is in the future of fighting games. I normally don't like to do the influencer thing. I'm definitely repeating this from the beginning of the video, but please, the algorithm commands us all, and I've currently got no subscribers. If I'm going to restart this and do this properly according to the algorithm, really would appreciate Twitch subscribers. Twitch, Raisin B-Man, YouTube, One Punch Combo. Please subscribe, like, all that stuff, and in.